Hey everybody. For this discussion board, we are talking about cognitive load theory. Um, Cognitive load theory suggests a model of human cognitive architecture. And it's talking about the interaction between working memory and long-term memory. Or how is it that the things that we learn actually make it into our long-term memory? So in reading Spector, it does tell us that it is broken down to include intrinsic load theory, extraneous cognitive load, and germane cognitive load. Holder actually talks about these three in his presentation as well. And he tells us that cognitive load theory is basically how the memory is affected by educational processes. And it's how the brain processes and stores information as it is taught the information. So he says that intrinsic load, in the most basic of terms, is just how difficult the information is to learn. And he gives, the example of basic arithmetic and calculus. Whereas basic arithmetic, for nearly all people, is something that can be learned. For some, it may take a little bit longer, but most people are usually able to learn basic arithmetic. However, calculus is a much more advanced form of mathematics, and because of that, not all people are able to understand it. So that is intrinsic load, the difficulty of the information that's being presented to a person. Extraneous load actually has to do with how the method of instruction affects the learner. And so some examples that he gave on extraneous load seem to do more with distractions. What sorts of things, what sort of environment is the student in? Are they in a good environment where they can not be distracted and actually learn the information? Or are there kids yelling in the hallway, people running up and down the hallway? Any of us that have ever been in the public school system know that happens a lot. But essentially just, are they able to log into the computer? Are they able to get to the information? Or are they going to be meeting obstacles that are going to frustrate them and cause them stress? So that is your extraneous load. Germane load, I actually found the most interesting and feel like I have personally experienced it. Germane load refers to the work that is put into constructing a long-lasting store of knowledge. So it's your building blocks. Holder also uses math, again, as an example. And I think it is a good example. That germane load, we start with our children in as young as kindergarten, especially, math-wise, teaching them the very basics and creating building blocks in math as they go. But I don't think that this sort of cognitive load theory, this germane cognitive load, is exempt, from other areas of people's lives. Something that I talked about, to show where this is something that people experience throughout their entire life is that, my husband and I are constantly doing upgrades to our home. We purchased a fixer-upper, and over time, what we have done is we have built upon our base knowledge to gain more information. So we have done plumbing, we've done electric, we've painted, we've done flooring. We've done a lot of different things. And as we start each new project, we have a base of information that we're just going to continue to build upon. And that's how I see that germane cognitive load being used in everyday life, not just educational experience. So I can also say that I definitely see where that sort of that is very important. It's very important for an educator to create those building blocks and to create a relevant scheme for learning whatever subject it is that they are teaching, so that a learner can continue to build upon that as they grow older and learn more information. So, thank you.